Okay, so today I wanted to talk about the brands launching entertainment studios and the micro drama wave. This is something that I've been noticing, and I feel like it's something that is inevitable when it comes to how brands and companies essentially build and market themselves and how distribution is done. So, um, let's jump right into it. So, what's actually happening and why this is bigger than content marketing? So, a real structural shift is underway. A growing set of consumer brands are reorganizing to behave like media companies, not merely buying placements around culture, but financing, producing, and distributing culture, sometimes through internal studios, sometimes through joint ventures, and sometimes via deep platform partnerships. The clearest evidence is that this isn't isolated to one category. In the past 18 months or so, you can point to brands and retailers that formally created studio initiatives and announced slates. For example, we have Starbucks Studios announcing an original documentary set for a 2025 release. Actually, I'm not sure if that was released or not. Then we have creating centralized entertainment divisions to serve a portfolio of brands. An example of this would be LVMH's 22 Montaigne Entertainment. Then you have those who created new C-suite roles to professionalize entertainment as a function, quote unquote. For example, you have Gap naming a chief entertainment officer and explicitly positioning entertainment as a way to build fandoms and drive relevance or revenue. Then you have those companies who have built own entertainment products or apps that deepen direct relationships. For example, Chick-fil-A Play app launched November in 2024, which shows podcasts, games, ebooks that position it as a shared family time and not ads. And then you have those companies who built joint ventures explicitly described as studios. For example, Fanatic Studios launching in January of 2026, most recently as a JV to create, finance, produce, and distribute. So there is a LinkedIn post that is sort of the source of this deep research that I've conducted via a new tool in my tool set, which is the ChatGPT Deep Research tool. And so that LinkedIn post quoted that every brand will launch a studio. And so this is directionally pointing at something real, but literally wrong as a forecast. The future is not that every brand becomes Netflix. The future is more brands buy leverage and IP and distribution, and the winners treat entertainment like infrastructure, repeatable capability, measurable, and connected to commerce, and not like a one off campaign. So let's talk about how brands are entering entertainment, a practical taxonomy with live examples. So, what gets confusing in this conversation is that launching a studio can mean wildly different operating models. The market is converging on a few repeatable archetypes. So, one of those is centralized entertainment unit for a brand portfolio. So, the luxury play is instructive because it's explicitly framed as an enterprise platform serving many Masons. 22 Montaigne Entertainment was reported by Reuters as an entertainment venture overseen by a committee including a bunch of people, right? Created in partnership with Superconnector Studios. The stated goal, according to Reuters, is to collaborate with entertainment creators, producers, distributors to co develop, co produce, and co finance film, TV, audio that aligns with the brand's positioning. This model matters for you or for me, because it implies brands with multiple sub brands want one shared operating layer: rights, approvals, partner network, measurement, and distribution strategy. And when I say for me, I mean as someone who is in tech and someone who is a software engineer, and how I am thinking about what they may need from a tech perspective, right? Sort of to make all of this flow a little bit easier is sort of why I do this research. And then just because I'm interested as a founder and as someone who has my own company and has equity in multiple companies, I'm always interested in different growth strategies, especially as it relates to marketing and distribution. So the second archetype would be the brand studio initiative partnered with Hollywood operators. So Starbucks publicly announced Starbucks Studios in 2024 and said it would produce original entertainment partnering with Sugar 23. Now, its first named project was a feature documentary expected to be released last year. This is the partner first approach. The brand keeps strategic intent and brand narrative control while experienced producers reduce execution risks. The third archetype, joint venture studio designed to monetize a pre existing fan graph. A more sports platform version is now visible as of 2026. This is Fanatics Studios, launched as a joint venture between Fanatics and OBB Media. So this explicitly positioned Fanatics um, to independently create, finance, produce, and distribute across film, docs, digital, and live events. So this model is a huge signal. Brands that already own a dense network, for example, athletes, partners, leagues, events, customers, see content as the highest leverage way to convert that network into durable IP and sponsorship commerce flywheels. Now, the next archetype is entertainment leadership as an org design move. So Gap created a chief entertainment officer role and appointed someone there, explicitly describing the role as building scale platform across music, TV, film, sports, gaming, licensing, cultural collaborations, and linking entertainment to fandom and growth. It also said it would establish a Los Angeles office on Sunset Boulevard. This is a capability signal more than a content signal. When a retailer creates a role like this, it suggests that entertainment licensing is being treated as an internal P&L lever, not a marketing experiment. Now, the next archetype is deep platform partnerships as studio substitutes. So, not every brand needs to build a studio to achieve studio outcomes. A defining 2025 example is with Netflix and AB InBev announced a multi-year global brand partnership integrating brands around or on shows plus off-screen packaging and activation. And then Reuters also reported AB InBev advertising during Netflix live programming like NFL Christmas Day and partnering on major events. So this is a distribution first approach. Instead of launching a studio, the brand buys privileged access, premium storytelling, and live events with a deeper integration stack than traditional ads. And the last archetype is the old winner that shows the end game. So the best proof of where this goes is the brand that did it first and built a real media company. So Red Bull Media House describes itself as a multi-platform media company, producing and licensing programming and even feature films. Its history page notes it was founded in 2007, and AP described it as producing premium video captured by a large global network. Red Bull Studios is explicitly described by the company as a standalone films TV studio funding, producing, distributing premium programming. The takeaway, the peak version of Brand Studio is not a social team making shorts. It's a durable media supply chain with distribution, licensing, and repeatable formats. Now, Chick-fil-A. Streaming service is close, but the strategic move is broader. The Chick-fil-A story is widely mistold as they launched a streaming service. I think the more accurate framing is Chick-fil-A announced and launched a free family entertainment app called Chick-fil-A Play, with original curated content including shows, scripted podcasts, games, recipes, crafts, and reading experiences. Now, Harvard framed it as a way to stay connected beyond restaurant visits, essentially a modern brand extension designed to deepen mindshare and habit. So, two pivot relevant nuances matter a lot. First, Chick-fil-A explicitly positions play as a shared family interaction, not attention harvesting. Second, the first party data angle is constrained because this is a kids or a family product. Chick-fil-A provides customer support content emphasizing privacy and that the app is HOPPA compliant and ad-free. So, if the strategy thesis is brands are building studio products to capture first-party data, Chick-fil-A is a warning label. Some of the most compelling entertainment as loyalty moves intentionally collect less data, yet still build massive brand equity and repeated engagement. Now, moving on to microdramas. The China playbook is being imported and it's software native. So the other half of this is essentially my prompt that I placed into Chat GPT Deep Research. Um, and so I the first half of my prompt went over sort of this brands launching entertainment studios, and then I wanted to dive more into microdramas and the China playbook, and how that's all playing out and how that's moving over to the US. And so this is closer to mobile gaming economics wrapped in serialized video, right? So what the format is. So I want to say articles describe microdramas as vertically shot, minute-long episodes with frequent plot turns designed to keep viewers hooked and paying to continue. The U.S. Department of Commerce's International Trade Administration characterized China's microdrama format as a serialized short-form video, often 60 to 100 episodes built for mobile viewing. So why did this blow up in China? So this is a booming industry with $5 billion a year in its reporting and described the audience draw as convenience and mobile accessibility. It also described payment mechanics. Early episodes are free and then paid to finish. So these the reason why these sorts of things scale, these large distribution platforms, um, or is because of large distribution platforms, specialized production ecosystems, and consumer willingness to pay to unlock episodes. Apparently, in June 2024, microdrama users were reported at 576 million in China, which is over half the internet users, and that the market was forecasted to reach 50.44 billion by 2024. So, why is this being taken serious now? So, there are lots of large Hollywood studios exploring microdramas right now, you know, because obviously, I think that YouTube and social are really starting to capture a lot of the market share. And these microdramas sort of present a new attention bucket, quote unquote, where revenue can sort of be made here, especially for some of these larger studios who have maybe been missing out with, some of the YouTube and social taking over. So TikTok is not just a distributor; it's becoming a product competitor. So two concrete signals that pretty much point to this. TechCrunch reported TikTok quietly released a standalone microdrama app called Pine Drama in the US and Brazil on January 16th. It's free, ad-free at launch with microdrama feeds and discovery. Now I haven't actually checked this out, but I will do maybe a later video on this. And then it was reported that also TikTok began casting actors for its own mini drama production and also filed the US trademark application for TikTok drama, implying it may produce as well as distribute. So why does this matter? This matter because it means the platform can capture more of the value chain, discovery, viewing, payments, first-party behavioral data, and monetization. So the economics underneath all of this is entertainment as a loyalty program versus entertainment as a paid bundle. So these are two different economic machines, premium brand studios and micro dramas. So I want to say premium brand entertainment is a long cycle brand asset. Micro dramas are a short cycle performance machine. So Digiday quoted a producer framing entertainment as is a loyalty program and observed brands trying to move from the interruptive ads to funding the programming itself. It also emphasized that studios were early stage and that movie TV cycles are long. This is a long cycle bet. Brands accept latency, months to years, to build a compounding asset, IP that can drive PR, earn media partnership, retail moments, and potentially licensing. That's the essence of this is called James Crane framing. Ads disappear, stories endure. Then you have microdramas are short cycle performance machines. So articles both describe microdramas as cliffhanger driven and pay to continue or paywalled experiences. So Our deep research tool says this looks and feels like mobile gaming. So high velocity content production, heavy user acquisition, paywalls, microtransactions, funnel optimization through analytics, fast iteration on hooks, thumbnails, episode structure. First party data is a lever, not a universal goal. So first party data is fundamentally what you collect directly from your own touchpoints, web app, etc., and becomes more valuable as third party signals degrade. But more data is not always the winning move. In kids or family context, privacy constraints can make the product intentionally light on tracking while still generating loyalty and repeat engagement. In microdramas, first party data is central because personalization, retention, and conversion to paid episodes are the business. Now, what does this mean for me or for any software agency out there? So, if you run a software agency, the real opportunity is not we'll build a streaming app for every brand. That's a commodity trap. The opportunity is to become a team that builds or operates the entertainment infrastructure layer brands are discovering they need. Digiday explicitly framed the shift as brands moving from renting other people's stories to building studios and partnerships, for example, an operational build out, not a campaign. So here are some of the software wedges that are most inevitable as more brands attempt this. So studio operating system for brands. Brands entering entertainment immediately run into operational problems such as approvals, partner contracting, content logistics, and measurement across platforms. The centralized division model and executive role model displayed by both LVMH and Gap both imply internal coordination is becoming a core capability. So a high value agency pivot is delivering a productized stack that includes content supply chain tooling, so intake, greenlight, budget, product production tracking and approvals. Then you have rights and licensing management, which includes talent releases, music, territory windows, clips, and social cutdowns. And then you have brand and safety compliance workflows. Um, these are category specific. Kids content has special constraints, of course. So this can become very sticky because it's internal process software and not just a one-off app. Next, we have owned channel distribution plus the identity layer. So Chick-fil-A's Play app and TikTok's Pine Drama show two ends of the spectrum, a brand building an own entertainment channel and the platform productizing drama distribution. So your agency can specialize in own channel distribution packs, authentication profiles, subscription or free with ads models, content, consent management, and privacy by design, content delivery, search recommendations, even basic, instrumentation and experimentation framework. Now, measurements that executives will actually trust. So executives will keep, shutting down these initiatives if they can't connect them to business outcomes. So Gap CEO language makes the expectation explicit. Entertainment should drive relevance, fandom, and sustained growth. That implies measurement needs to move from views likes to things like lift in loyalty engagement, so login, repeat sessions, incremental store visits, or e-commerce conversion where attributable, subscriber retention or churn if paid, brand lift studies tied to exposure cohorts. So if your agency can build the analytics plus experiment scaffolding, you become central to whether the studio bet survives a budgeting season. Now, microdrama tooling is near-term wedge because it is software native. Microdramas are structurally closer to performance products than to film production. Articles describe payment mechanics and mobile distribution, and some describe the ecosystem of apps and increments moving in. That means your agency can build rapid vertical video pipelines, templates, localization, subtitle automation, paywall plus pricing, experimentation tooling, UI or creative iteration systems, thumbnail title testing, hook analysis, creator producer portals, submit contract payout performance dashboards. This is less glamorous than Hollywood, but it's where software advantage compounds. So, what this means for pivoting, if you actually are in well, this is actually something I might, should I actually get into this one? Let's see. Yeah, so we can get into this one too. So what this means, I actually asked it a two-part question. I asked it what it means for a pivot if you're actually creating a gig economy app, right? So what this means for pivoting a gig app. A gig app can either fight for scraps in the saturated creator marketplaces, or it can specialize in the labor market that the microdrama brand studio wave is actively creating. So the report highlights that microdramas rely on a full production ecosystem, writers, directors, actors, and that platforms and advertisers finance the pipeline. It also describes the space as increasingly integrated with marketing. Articles also note that some microdrama initiatives explicitly talk about union and non-union labor. So that opens a big gig, a strong gig wedge, production marketplace plus workflow plus compliance aimed around this specific format. So the most valuable gig marketplace is not find creators, it's ship episodes. For brand studios and micro dramas, the pain is not finding a random freelancer, it's reliably shipping content at speed with consistent quality. So a high leverage gig product would do three things at once. Match specialized roles, vertical drama editors, captioners, writers, storyboarders, voice, color, sound, localization, provide workflow, brief assets, review, versioning, delivery, and handle business operations, contracts, releases, payouts, taxes, and rights. Now, this is defensible because the switching cost is operational, not social. Now, you want to build for compliance and not vibes. If you want to work with brand studios, the gig platform has to bake in compliance. Talent releases, IP assignment, music licensing, metadata, brand safety scanning at upload, kids content constraints from relevant. Papa context is a real constraint in the Chick-fil-A model. Most generic gig apps don't do this, which is exactly why brands keep defaulting to heavyweight agencies and production houses. So your gig app can become a layer for studio joint ventures. The Fanatics JV model is a clue. Brands are increasingly forming studio entities that will need scalable production capacity. A specialized gig platform can become the overflow valve for cycle digital series, localization edits for different platforms, always on content tied to events. So, like sports, launches, and retail moments. So, in practice, this looks like the AWS of production labor, not another freelancer directory. Now, risk and constraints that will decide who wins. This space is real, but it's not free money. The winners will be the brands and vendors who respect these constraints. So, most brands should not build a full studio. Partnership is the default. So, Digiday emphasized that development cycles are long and that past bad experiences and misunderstandings are a headwind. It also highlighted partnership models like co financing arrangements as an alternative to standing up a full studio. So, your positioning should assume that most brands will follow hybrid models, a small internal team plus external operators like production, distribution, or both. Distribution risk is existential. So if a brand builds its entire strategy on one platform or one app store economics model, it inherits the platform's policy risk. TikTok's microdrama push, moving from minis to a standalone app to potential original production, is a reminder that platforms can become competitors overnight. The safe strategy is owning at least part of the distribution or portability, email, SMS, loyalty logins, web access, or multi platform packaging. Now, microdramas are heading toward consolidation and format evolution. Business Insider explicitly framed 2026 as make or break for microdramas with questions around sustainability, business model viability, and how major platforms brands reshape it. So treat microdramas like early mobile gaming. Many apps will not survive. A few will become category kings. Tool chains and catalog will become moats. So a brand safety line is thin. A major reason premium brand studios exist is to transition from interruptive ads to storytelling and to do it at quality. But if the content is obviously salesy, audiences reject it, especially in today's time. So reception is the key question. So this is where your strategy call matters. Premium studio content must feel like real entertainment. Micro dramas can be formulaic, but still need systematic quality control and ethical boundaries. So that is the deep research report of brands launching entertainment studios in the micro drama wave that I pretty much incepted using ChatGPT. I just wanted to go over that with you guys, and it was quite a lot. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about all of this as an agency, as engineers, as founders, right? And even as researchers or even someone who are just interested in this topic, right? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and thank you guys for watching.